All right, here's a quick unboxing and first thoughts on the Amazon Fire Stick with the Alexa voice and the Apple TV with the Siri remote. Now, I've been using Apple TVs for quite a while. I used to use Western Digital boxes and they had a very bad lag issue that I didn't like. Now, this one is similar to Siri. It's a later version with Alexa. Before it just said voice control. I think this one maybe have a faster processor and Alexa voice control may be a little better or fine-tuned. I'm not really sure, but you can access pretty much the same things you can on the Apple TV. The biggest thing is on the Apple TV, at least the 4th generation, which I'll show you in a second, you can get up to 64 gigs and it basically gives you more storage for certain things such as games and stuff like that. The Amazon stick here is HDMI. It's very small. The only thing is a little clunky is that you have to actually power it separately by plugging in an included adapter, which is decent and is long enough. Now, this is the 3rd generation Apple TV. Even though they're all HD devices, I've had a Western Digital box before that was very slow in response, very laggy. Even though it was HD, for some reason it just didn't look as good as how the Apple TV showed the picture. It looked more true to life of what you would expect for an HD resolution. The 64 gig one is bigger, has more memory, it's supposed to be a faster processor. They changed the remote control. The 3rd generation Apple TV remote reminds me more of the Amazon stick remote, the way it's laid out. The touchscreen or the touchpad on the actual Apple TV. 4th generation is really nice. The Siri is a really nice addition to it. The biggest difference to me that I noticed is basically the layout or the operating system is slightly different. And if you're an Apple user and have a lot of Apple things on your iTunes account, then Apple TV will probably be the better choice for you. If it's just about bang for buck and you don't have either, I think the Fire Stick would be better. I was pleasantly surprised with the Fire Stick as far as the price and the functionality of it. Now, this is the newer Apple TV remote. I don't have the 3rd generation in front of me, but this is the newer one. I think it has glass elements on top as well. It's a touchpad. They're both small remotes, but side by side, the Apple TV is definitely smaller. Not that it matters. They're very similar in size. As you can see, every button on here is pretty much laid out exactly the same, just in different order. Now, one of them is battery power. The Apple TV is rechargeable. The old one, it uses like a watch battery. This one is pretty much plug it in with one of the at least iPhone 5 or more, I believe, charging port, and it charges it up. There's the button for the voice control. Pad on the Amazon is pretty much a touch. You push it in, hard presses on the outside or in the middle. The Apple TV, the 4th generation, is a touch. Kind of just slide your finger along. On games, it's kind of nice because you can actually use it as a virtual controller, sort of like you would use like a Nintendo Wii, and you can also use it physically, and you can also add a actual remote control to play games if you're into that. So we ended up getting a 64 gig for the Apple TV because if you're into playing a lot of games, it's good to download a lot of different apps and stuff like that. I realized that after I got another iPhone and I stepped down the size of my RAM. Instead of a 64, I got like a 16 or something really ridiculous, and I couldn't hold hardly any apps on it. And I realized from that point that if you're going to download anything, you just need as much space as possible. So we did the 64 gig. Now, other than the operating system between the 3rd and 4th generation, pretty much the same, maybe a little more snappy, but they were already pretty snappy. And this is the Amazon stick again, powered with the included charging block and the cable. There's not enough room to plug in that HDMI block from Amazon. You have to use the adapter, and it's flexible, so it's decently long. And here's the adapter that you would definitely need, because for most modern TVs now, there's not enough room to plug in that. You can kind of maneuver it into the space that you need, and it works pretty fine. I think this has YouTube and stuff. I'm not really sure. I didn't even look for those applications. I'm pretty sure I can go into apps and download it as well. So as you see, one of the biggest things for me, what I get from the Apple TV is very snappy response. So I want to just test this real quick, and I'm pushing the buttons up and down, left, right, whatever, and it's moving really fast in real time, and I really like that part of it. So it's pretty much playing immediately. They're talking about how they have no buffer going on with their technology that they use. And the next thing I want to test is basically how the voice control works. They call it Alexa, Apple calls it Siri. So let's just see how it works out. It's going to hold this in. You can't hear what I'm saying, but I'm pretty much saying fast forward to 10 minutes. Or fast forward 10 minutes. So that's pretty fast. It did it pretty much instantly. And now I'm just going to hit the button and hold it and say start over. And these are the general commands that I would use with the Siri remote. The only thing, Siri gets a little clunky sometimes if you're on YouTube and you're asking for specific things versus traditional commands like start, stop, and stuff like that. If on Siri, if you miss like a part of a movie or like just you miss what he just said, you can hold Siri and say, what did he say? And it'll literally rewind it like in 10 seconds. So I wanted to see how that worked as far as this remote. So now I'm pretty much just saying general things like general commands like free movies, Prime, scary, just generic things, and everything's popping up pretty fast, comedies, and it works really well. So I'm pleasantly surprised as far as how responsive the actual remote works, or the system in general, especially being for such an affordable cost and small package. So if you have an Amazon Prime account, photos that you've loaded from your phone to the app, you can basically view them here. Your Amazon Prime Music as well, you can listen to everything here, which is really nice. I'm not sure how the games work compared to to Apple TV. But if you're more into games, the Apple TV may have a better experience because you can add actual game remote and actually use it as a virtual controller in a sense. Initially, I wasn't actually even interested in the Amazon Fire Stick. So now that I have it, I'm really happy that I got it. I'm glad I actually waited without even knowing that they were updating this particular one. Not sure when they did that, but it's a great buy. $40 you can get it at any place that sells electronics, Walmart, Staples, Best Buy, Target, and so forth. Ended up getting mine at Staples because it was sold out at Best Buy. And apparently people are doing some type of, I don't know, hacking or doing something to these sticks as well. I'm not really concerned with that. But if this was helpful at all, please hit like and subscribe or visit www.howtoandreviews.com. Till next time.